I discovered a 10x Amazon sales system that I use to optimize over 2,100 Amazon listings and drive millions in Amazon sales for small startups as well as retail giants. And that system uncovered something most sellers don't want to hear. Your biggest problem isn't your product. It's that your Amazon listing reeks of DIY stench. I mean, your listing looks like it was built in Canva, designed by your cousin Chad in 2014. And that's why your listing's leaking sales faster than children spill the family secrets at a dinner party. So I'm going to break down the 5 DIY dead giveaways and show you how to 10x your Amazon sales instead, like we did for Cryo Concepts, who first tried to do Amazon on their own. But then using this system, we took them from zero to over $240,000 a month, but in weeks instead of years. I'm Sean Farrington. I'm not a YouTuber. I actually got asked that the other day, but no, I'm literally in the Amazon trenches daily for my clients at Ecom Optimization. And now I also share my knowledge one-on-one inside Pro Seller Elite. So I created the Amazon Turnaround Playbook. It shows you exactly where your Amazon sales are breaking down and how to fix them. It's the exact steps that change struggling Amazon DIYers into 7-figure sellers without the guessing. And it's yours for free. I'll drop a link in the description and you can just grab it and get started. Because over the past year, I've reviewed hundreds of Amazon listings. Some good, most are failing. And I keep seeing the same 5 dead giveaways that scream, this listing is homemade and doomed to failure. So let's count them down. DIY dead listing giveaway number 5. Your main image looks like a bad catalog photo. Look, your main image is like your billboard on the high-speed freeway that is Amazon. And bad images like these will mess you up. This one's the flat lay. Literally just throw this product down on a tabletop and you shoot the picture and you call it good, I guess. This one, it lists a little bit more. I call this one, I figured out how to do 3D design. How about this one? These are the spatulas. This is where someone has figured out, hey, I know how to do background removal in Canva. How about this one? This one is nearly impossible to see. That's part of the reason I put it up here. I call this invisible on invisible, like you can barely tell it what it is. This, hard to tell what it is too, but I actually know that this is soap. Here's one of the big problems. A product on an all-white background on Amazon is kind of like a snowman in a snowstorm. It's just nearly impossible to see. And this one's even worse because it's transparent. So again, the white on white right here. If you're gonna be using, doing an Amazon exclusive brand, I would be thinking about your packaging heavily. This one I call I don't understand resolution. And I just upscaled something so bad that it got blurry. And most gurus are saying right now that you got to stop the scroll with high contrast, eye-catching visuals. And yeah, that's true. But honestly, with all of the competition on Amazon, I'm finding it's just not enough. So I want to give you my 3 high click-through main image frameworks. It's 3 steps I'm going to take you through. And I find that this is what's really working right now. When a shopper, enters a search term into the search bar, your main image is the first thing that they're gonna see. So you've really got to do something that's gonna make that main image stand out in a way that catches their attention. It's gotta be something unique. It's gotta be something that grabs attention, something that says, hey, here I am, notice me. This is your only thing really doing battle for you in the sea of competitors that they're seeing right now. This main image, you've got to do something to stand out from all of these other people. I mean, obviously this stuff is not working at all. The low res thing here, this one can't even tell what it is. So that's not going to be working for us. This is really not doing us any favors either. The flat lay, not doing anything. At least this stands up a little bit. That might catch some attention. So that's not bad, but these are all basics and we got to kind of move beyond the basics. And we got to think about what is going on in the mind of the shopper, like we did with Antonio. So these all natural kitchen wraps were solving big problems for his audience. They were reducing landfills and cluttering storage and all this kind of stuff. But there was something else going on in the mind of the shopper. They were afraid. They were freaked out about nasty chemical smells, petroleum aftertaste left behind by cheap import wraps. Those were the sales objections that we had to overcome. But Antonio's product was not a cheap import product. So we actually had a little bit of an advantage. They were high quality. People loved them. The reviews that were coming back were saying, hey, this is really good. But we needed to be doing something on that main image to overcome this fear, because that was pain. And it was causing them to not make a buying decision or to just go with other options that maybe didn't seem like as big of a risk. So what we did is we just highlighted on the main image a way to overcome that fear. Now, hopefully you can see that there. We faked onto the package a brand new, you can see right there, a brand new proposition. Hey, this is a USA made 7-piece set. So you can see there, we even faked in the packaging. Look up here in the back corner. You see it coming in back corner up here. There was no packaging on that main image, so we just put packaging on. You're allowed to actually display the packaging inside of Amazon main images. It's part of what they allow per their terms of service. So you can just put it in there and then put propositions right on the packaging like we did here. So we just put that USA made value proposition. Now, it doesn't have to be USA made. It can be whatever's good in your country. It can also be something that is speaking to their fear. So if they're worried about, burning fur, you can actually just say, no burnt fur, like make it big, make it proud, make it something they can see, and put it on the packaging like it belongs there in the first place. What that did is it bypassed the pain that they were feeling, that they were freaked out about, and it captured shoppers' attention immediately. This thing happened so fast that it made his natural kitchen products soar from 10 units a day to 40 to 55 units per day. So on the low end, that's a staggering 300% increase in sales. So that's how we can position based on pain. But honestly, fear may not always be the best emotion to tackle. So one of the things we can tackle instead is pleasure. Like we did with this baking set, one of the things we did is we're like, hey, well, let's just go ahead and show what they're probably ultimately looking for and show the product in use. So we put ingredients right into the product itself. Again, when you're thinking about this sea of sameness that's going on out here, I got to do something to capture attention. Putting the desire right into it, I mean, they instantly see the pleasure. So instead of a plain set of measuring spoons and cups, we showed them the ingredients, and that inspired their desire. It triggered the thought, hey, that looks beautiful, let's start baking. And the goal is to make your image so curiosity driven, get beyond the bland, do something that is curiosity driven, so visually intriguing that it's different, that shoppers can't help but click. And we did this for Ray, the owner of this product. He actually said he wanted to double down on PPC because his conversions were going so well. Because when you get your images right, your ads actually become more efficient. And Amazon just sends you free traffic, like it did with this next move. So we're talking about props here. So we've gone for pain, pleasure, the 3P high click-through framework. For example, we did these with Nickelodeon. We got the chance to work on their products and their designs. And, kids right now, these are really popular. Paw Patrol is really popular right now. And these Paw Patrol shirts, you could just place them like this, as like a flat lay or even like a 3D lay sort of on the main image. That is an option. And that's pretty much the way most people would have probably gone about it. But why not really go the extra mile and just add in a prop? So in this case, we added in the most beloved character, Chase. And when you did that, we bring this listing instantly to life. It's selling the promise of a Paw Patrol experience, and it just makes it stand out from all the other shirts in the space. And the other ones were just literally t-shirts on a white background, pretty much like this. That's what everyone else was doing out there. Adding that added in a new dimension, made the pop, made something else on the listing, something else on the main image, again, that overcame all the blandness that was going on in that space. Oh, same thing for SpongeBob too. Doing that for SpongeBob as well too. Or the classic that you can do on prop side of things, you can just show the benefits. So many shoppers looking for an infused drink, one of the things that they were concerned about is they didn't want it to taste nasty. I mean, that's honestly one of the problems with infused drinks. So that's a pain we're trying to avoid. So showing something that gives them the promise of a great experience, like the fruit. And that builds on the promise of the premise. It's a great tasting drink. And if no one else is doing even this in your space, you can just grab this trick and, get started right now. The idea is to build curiosity and to start to think like the shopper, to overcome their fears, push them towards their pleasure, using props, using whatever you can to build curiosity up enough to grab a click. And here's what most sellers don't realize. Amazon is allowing you to silently A/B test your images right now. So you could literally just test this one to this one as an A/B test and see which one wins. What used to require expensive apps can now be done right inside your Amazon brand experiments. And the reason they're doing that is because Amazon's always measuring what shoppers respond to. So if you got something that shoppers are responding to, they're going to go ahead and say, hey, this is important to us. And if you're letting them test that for you, then Amazon knows this is the winner. Hey, let's go ahead and send some more traffic there because this one seems to be working. And that's part of the reason that this account that we did this for jumped 1,138% in the first 90 days, the first 3 months that we made changes like this and others. But honestly, winning the click is only the 5th way to 10x your Amazon sales, because here's the next thing that I'm seeing a lot, and I call this dead giveaway number 4. Your second image looks like a legal disclaimer. And this is where most Amazon sellers unknowingly design their product pages to fail. Let me show you how one subtle shift woke this listing up to the tune of $10,000 in a week and a half. And you can do the same too. And it has everything to do with what goes on right here. So this right here is the second image we're talking about. Some people call it the title image, but here's the truth about the Amazon buying process. Money follows attention. So first, we need to earn the click by getting that attention. But then once you have the click, you have just 5 seconds while they're on the listing to keep their attention and convince them to stay, or they're going to bounce. And those 5 seconds are like trying to hold a toddler's attention in a room full of bubble wrap and snacks. Good news is stopping the bounce is what this second image is all about. So, we're talking about this desire loop. It sort of goes, round and round and round. So we're not just talking about, a static thing. We're talking about, hey, we've got activity. That's my sad attempt at arrows. Arrows going round and round and round. It's not about features and ingredients, or even benefits. Instead, it's about creating a deep emotional trigger that confirms what shoppers are already want, what their desire is. So we want to work on that trigger in a way that gets a response. And that comes from great market research. And then we just need to trigger them. And then ultimately, this is going to confirm what they're interested in. This is a secret hope that they already have. Now, this is in secret. They don't know it. You have to discover it through deep market research. They aren't saying it out loud. So we need to know or need to uncover that hope. And then we can trigger it. And then once we do that, then we can work to increase the belief. So we work in this cycle. Now, honestly, this cycle really doesn't end. But, we know that there is a secret hope. So we trigger that hope in a way that stirs it up. Hey, this is inspiring me. This is what I've been looking for. And we've got to reinforce that hope to the point of belief, and then go round and around and around. Hope, trigger, belief. Hope, trigger, belief. Like we did for Freeze and Clear. Secretly, they had a hope. They were hiding their warts under clothing, sleeves, pants, and pant legs and all that kind of stuff during summer months. So when you want to be in shorts and a t-shirt, they were hiding them. And their hidden hope was, I don't want to walk around embarrassed. I don't want to be walking around with these warts that I know everyone's looking at and they're just standing out and they're like the biggest feature I have on my body. They didn't want any more awkward glances. They just wanted confidence in sandals and shorts and in their own skin. So we triggered that hope with image number 2. Now, don't let the simplicity of this image fool you, because it was engineered to awaken hidden hope. It's like a dopamine hit to the brain. And when that hope was confirmed, something clicked. Not logic, not persuasion, but belief. And that changed everything, because once the buyer feels belief, they stop looking for proof. And that's the switch that can be made. It's no longer a debate. It's just go time. And that shift, it created a desire loop that took this listing from stuck to scaling to $10,000 in a week and a half without even touching PPC. Yes, seriously, without even touching PPC, no PPC. Now, I'll be honest with you, that doesn't happen in all cases. Most likely for you, PPC is going to be part of your future on Amazon. But in this case, it did work that way. And look, when we began to adjust other factors, 10K was kind of just the start, because as that continued, the lift went up to $68,000 in just 28 days from zero. So $68,000 in the first 28 days, and then in about 4 months, went over $200,000 a month in just 4 months. So here's the shift that I want to bring your attention to. Once you can spot these emotional triggers, you can start planting them intentionally. Not in just one image, but across your entire Amazon presence. And when you align those emotions with their hidden hopes, you trigger them and build belief, that's when things really take off. Now, if you're loving these moves, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It tells me to keep dropping no-frills strategies that really work. And if you want even more ugly truths and hacks won't admit, I've got plenty more like this next one, because there's a way to kill Amazon sales so fast, it honestly feels like an attack when you don't understand it. But it's not an attack. Let's go down here to your dead giveaway number 3. Your images feel like a random slideshow. So let me confess something. When I first started on Amazon, PPC actually wasn't much of a thing. It was kind of the early days and it was just starting out. So I landed a job at one of the first and earliest Amazon agencies in the world, but I had to learn how to drive sales without ads. It was honestly an ugly education for me, but eventually I figured out how to do that and actually pretty much drove my first 5 million in Amazon sales using nothing but images. And that's when I discovered a hidden truth. Amazon shoppers don't buy what they see, but what they feel. So I'm just going to show you how to turn simple photos into emotional journeys that make products pretty much sell themselves. And the crazy part, when you do this right, you can actually outsell your competitors with fewer reviews and less ad spend. I've seen it over and over again. But right now I'm hearing a lot of guru chatter and everyone out there is saying, you need better infographics. But honestly, that's not what I'm seeing. So instead, what I've found is that you just need a sales process, but in your pictures. So kind of think of your image stack like a mini movie that takes the shopper from desire to logic to proof in that sequence. For example, we didn't just use a picture of a rolling umbrella base. Instead, we showed resort owners using this product poolside, luxury poolside. You got your infinity pool, trusted by hotel, restaurant, resort owners. And we also showed it at windy beachfronts right here, right on the shore. And suddenly, when we did that, the $299 price tag felt cheap. And that one shift actually helped jump sales to $2.8 million in just 6 months. So that's what I mean by turning pictures into a process. Start to look at this as a process rather than just a bunch of images that you need to throw up onto your listing. We want it to be a process. Each image pulls an emotional trigger: hope, trust, belonging, aspiration, until that add to cart feels inevitable. But there's a wrong way to do this. I'll show you the wrong way to do this. This is the wrong way. Just random pictures of a product. Again, hey, I figured out how to use the background removal on Canva, and this is what I'm going to do. So even if you have infographics, this is officially an infographic. It's hard to tell here, but there's a guy, like a grade scale guy here. There's his shoulders, and here's his hand holding this, and it's showing that this thing is 13 inches high. Okay, so it is an infographic, but that's really not doing anything to improve sales that it's 13 inches high. You could probably just show it on a person with a kid playing with it, and they'd get, oh, that's about that size if you just do the scale right with the kid. And you can do all that with royalty-free photography and probably even AI if you really wanted to now. So what we really want to work on is this desire, logic, proof as a framework, kind of like this, where we show the desire, which is restaurant level miso soup, but from the simplicity of infuser packets. So you've got the logic, but we've also got the desire here. Here's the desire. They want this. This is ultimately what they're most excited about, is the soup, but they like the simplicity of these packets is the idea behind this. So 3-minute Japanese hondashi, quick stock infuser packets. And you also want to talk to them about the logical reasons for buying. So again, thinking of this as a process, talking about their hope, but leading them on to downward here, thinking of this as a process, the favor base behind everything you love about Japanese food. And this is a show and tell situation. We show the benefits, we tell the benefits, right? We show them what they want, which is ultimately this stuff, and we tell them the benefits. Flavored base behind everything you want. So this is kind of going through this process of reasoning this thing out. I want this. This is how I get that. That's very reasonable. And it's in a very easy to understand, easy to digest way to take them through that sales process. Again, we're thinking about this as a sales process. Again, pull them in with desire. Ultimately, they want this. They want this awesome food. That's what they're looking for. That's the desire. Then we kind of pull them and draw them in with logical reasons to buy. That's where infographics can finally come in and actually be useful to you. Again, this is a show and tell. So we show the benefits, right? This is what they want. We tell the benefit. Don't feel like spending hours shopping, chopping, and prepping. We got it all solved for you here. And plus, we just give them some nice, simple bullets. Right? Kind of explain them logical reasons. So if they're worried about it being nasty or, not really healthy or anything like that, we kind of just hit them with some of those facts. So we can do the emotional, this is what they want. We can do a little bit of logical backing to it. Hey, why don't feel like shopping and all that stuff. We got it solved for you. And if you want some other logical reasons for buying as well too, there's none of this junk in here that would have made it bad. This sales process in words is exactly how you convert shoppers into buyers. Like we did for Dan. Dan owned Pet-a-Pet. And he said this combination of human-focused copy and images got real results for his pet launch. In fact, Dan says that we blew past, the expected in their 30-day sales, blew past 2/3 of the people landing on the product page are buying. I mean, just imagine how much Amazon would love you if 2/3 of your shoppers were buying. This is kind of just another lever that you can pull to get that 10x sales increase that you're really looking for. Again, I cover this all more inside of the Amazon Turnaround Playbook. It shows you exactly where your Amazon sales are breaking down right now and how to fix it. Then shows you how to magnetize clicks, hold attention. In fact, it's the exact steps that change struggling DIY Amazoners into 7-figure sellers, but without the guessing. It's yours free. I put the links down in the description so you can just grab those and get started. Now we're gonna get on our way to DIY dead giveaway number 2. Your bullets read like a tech manual. So one of the benefits of a community like Pro Seller is that I get to see behind the scenes of hundreds of sellers, especially what trends are happening right now. The bad trends even more so than the good ones. Here's what I found. So many sellers are relying on AI to write their bullets right now. AI is actually harming their sales because it's just regurgitating what's already out there. And again, day 101 of any marketing class, if you took marketing 101, they're going to say a word to you and it's going to be called differentiation. What can you do to be different in your marketing? So if you're just pulling down AI stuff, I can tell you right now, it's not different. And that's probably one of the biggest problems you're going to have. So the result, if you do that, is going to be boring, beige, bland bullets. And here's what most DIYers don't understand. Bland bullets are silent killers. But when you get your bullets written right, they become one of the most powerful sales tools Amazon can give you. I'm going to show you this real quick because in a matter of milliseconds, after your shopper has clicked onto your listing, they're curious, they're interested. But if you can't capture their attention and keep them, and they hit a wall of boring, lifeless bullet points, you've lost them. They're going to go away. But I mean, right here, you can see this. There's an ad for another competitor right on this listing, just waiting to whisk them away, and they'll just click it and they'll be gone. So, I mean, look at all this stuff that's positioned on your listing right now. One of the biggest one I've showed maybe a couple times on how to hack this, but this is on your listing right now that is there to distract you and get your shoppers away. So they can click on these links down here and go away immediately. They could also buy this together. Sometimes that happens, but they may just go, oh, I'll just go over and check out this plant-based superfood protein. So again, plant-powered protein is what we're selling. They're actually offering you a superfood plant-based protein right on there and a complete protein as well too. They're just saying, hey, just why don't you check out these? Some people buy them all together, but a lot of shoppers will just come over here and click this and say, I'll just go ahead and get this now. And that's the kind of stuff that's on this listing. When you scroll down on the listing, you get into what I call the danger zone. Ones that frequently bought with section over here. Then other options that are 4 stars and above, products related to this item. Amazon's basically saying, hey, if you can't capture the sale up here, if you can't do it above the fold, what's going to happen is down here, we're just going to start pitching you anything because we already know that 90% probability you've lost the sale. They didn't do a great job of capturing it. So Amazon's going to get their sale. That's all they really care about. Amazon's going to do their best to recover them in the danger zone. So that's what is going on against you, and Amazon's playing the game against you because Amazon cares more about getting a sale from that shopper than giving you the sale from that shopper. And here's the thing with this. Your bullet points are actually the secret weapon to close the sale, but in 2 very specific ways. And I'm going to show you how to do both those ways in a second because most sellers get this wrong. They either cram bland, boring facts into a bullet, kind of like this, where it's just fact after fact. High quality static electric shock collars for large dogs. Citronella is harmless. Strong deterrent directed towards your dog's snout. And it actually becomes a chore to read this. I call this, let's go ahead and vomit up a pile of facts and hope that it sells somehow. Or worse, there's also this. You get the short bullet points. They don't even use the full space that Amazon gives to them. It's like the history report that you didn't want to write in high school, so you just jotted down a few facts and hoped for the best. And I make fun of this because this used to be me. I fell into this trap when I started on Amazon back in 2015. I didn't know any better. I actually thought short bullet points looked sleek. They looked elegant, streamlined, easy to read. And I thought that lowered friction or sales friction, and that would hopefully mean more sales. I mean, after all, who likes to slog their way through big chunky bullets or walls of text or anything like that? At least that's what I thought. But as I began to test everything on Amazon, everything on the listing, from images to bullets and all that kind of stuff, what I found out was that I was wrong. Very rarely do short bullets convert. Very rarely. I found over the years that almost always longer bullets convert than this, but in very specific ways. There's a reason that almost always longer bullets sell better. The biggest reason is that if shoppers end up over here looking at your bullets, something in your images wasn't there that they were hoping for. 63% of your sales will come from your images, just so you know that. Especially on mobile, it's even a little bit higher. But if they're over here reading, it's because the images didn't deliver to them the information they were looking for. And by some grace of God, you actually got them on your bullets because they could have just left. But if they're over here, they're interested enough, they just need more information. And it could be a fact, it could be an emotion, or maybe just the nudge that they need to click that add to cart button. So after a year or so of suffering with low conversion rates, I discovered that while short bullets may look sleek like these, they just often fail to take shoppers through the know, like, trust cycle needed to help them feel confident in hitting that add to cart button. So we got to remove the boring beige from any of this kind of stuff and replace them immediately. And here's how I do it. First, every bullet I write should kick off with an attention-grabbing phrase or benefit. So for example, let me show you this. No sweaty messes, thanks to breathable cotton lining. Now, I like these parentheticals. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to writing bullets. I love writing bullets. I think they're one of the most effective things you can do. So I do parentheticals, parentheses, because it makes it stand out visually. So I like this. But what I love about this is it's hitting them right at the beginning with what they're feeling. Remember that secret hope or fears and all that kind of stuff we talked about earlier? So no sweaty messes. So if I'm already freaking out about a sweaty mess, and looking like a sweaty mess or feeling like a sweaty mess when someone comes in to hug me and they can feel my sweaty back or anything like this, this speaks to me right out of the gate. And it basically talking about combining this functional benefit, breathable nylon lining, all right? That's just a fact and a feature. But if you wrote this bullet and said breathable nylon lining, everyone else would have that too. Everyone else would have a breathable nylon lining. And now there's no difference between you. But no sweaty messes, that's a promise. That's an emotional benefit to me. I don't like being a sweaty mess. It's embarrassing, right? It looks bad. It may smell bad if it keeps going, right? So breathable nylon lining allows the no sweaty messes. That's a great one. Or how about this one? Melt ice, not pause. This immediately engages the emotions of pet parents. Pet parents who are afraid of their paws whenever they use ice melting products, and it hurts their feet. It hurts the little pads on their feet when they're outside, and they have to clear away the ice so they don't slip and slide and all that kind of stuff, but it burns the pads on their feet. Instantly, I know exactly what it's talking about. It really speaks and resonates immediately, especially if you have a concern over your pet's safety, which most pet parents do. How about this one? Sharp 120 decibel alarm stops thieves in their tracks. It's powerful, action-driven statements that can show the desired results. They want to stop thieves, and here's the logical reason for it. The 120 decibel alarm, it will stop the thieves. It's so loud, it's so piercing that it'll come through. And these hooks immediately catch the eye and draw the shopper in. In other words, you don't want to just tell what the product is. So 120 decibel alarm, whatever, ice melt, breathable nylon lining, whatever. Everyone's saying that kind of stuff. You don't want to just tell them what the product is. You want to tell them what the product does for them. It doesn't melt paws, right? It stops thieves. It stops the sweaty messes. And it tells them what it does for them. Instead of like basic wording like ergonomic design, say the unique shape reduces wrist strain and lets you work comfortably for hours. So you're talking about the benefit. Or if you're saying something about waterproof material, you want to say, hey, it keeps your gear dry even during unexpected downpours. And instead of 24 inches long, you want to talk about the tongs that stopped singed arm hair with an extra 24-inch long reach, right? And then you can start to build combinations like this. Survive the storm. Military-grade polymers keep your gear dry even in unexpected downpours. So survive the storm, it automatically catches their attention because that's probably what they've experienced or what they're freaked out about. One of the two. If they're new to this whole thing, they don't want to get caught unawares. They don't want to get caught unprepared. So surviving the storm becomes their goal. And the goal for us is to give the shoppers what they need to be engaged. And then you have up to 250 characters available for each bullet. Amazon gives you plenty of space for a reason. You should use it. But don't just stuff it with keywords. Every word should inform, engage, or convert. Currently, most of my bullets run around 250 characters, but I use each word to highlight how a product solves problems or meets a specific need. And I kind of build mine section by section, like with that hook. New uplift set for pro or pout. Now, I didn't just make this stuff up, this pro or pout stuff up. Amazingly, I don't wear lip liner, so I dig deep into market research, looking for the stories and the words and the phrases, the little nuggets of truth that I can just swipe and put into my copy. So pro or pout was not Sean. It was this crowd saying that they use these words, pro or pout. And what for them it meant, at work or at play. Pro, professional, pout for at night, at play. So I start with that. I'm going to start with something that speaks directly to them. New has been a classic marketing proposition for a long time. New, obviously, for pro or pout is speaking specifically to them. And again, my nerdy Sean-ism, I put things in parentheticals because I believe it stands out. It looks visually like a standout, so I do that. But then I want to pair it with what comes next. So everything I'm looking for is to earn the next second or the next 3 seconds. So if I got them with this and that got 1 second of attention out of them, I've got to earn the next second. So what I'm going to do right after that is go right into the next thing, which is a little bit of social proof. Fans tell us. I often like to kick in with some social proof, like right at the top. Fans tell us, and then just tell the story that fans told us, whatever that is. Fans tell us that the 11 perfectly pigmented shades, right, a little bit of alliteration, in this lip lift set get compliments. So I love how this ties us together. So fans tell us is social proof, and then the social proof comes around to proving that they get compliments. And get compliments is that secret hope or that secret desire that we spoke about earlier. The getting compliments, the change in status from where I am, where I'm not getting compliments, to the change in status to getting compliments is where we want to go. And so that's a really nice combination. And I literally just keep building from there. I've got a hook to get them in. I got a little social proof. I got their emotional desires that I want to, and then you just keep building it out. New lip lift set. Fans tell us 11 perfectly pigmented shades in this lip lift set get compliments. They also like how the 11 lip liner pencils let them quickly craft the perfect pout for play or the clean professional look for work in seconds. And so this is literally supporting pout for play, professional look for work is literally supporting this proposition up here, the one that I did earlier. Basically, you're going to keep building until you have a full bullet that converts at all angles. And you're going to use most, if not all, of those 250 characters to your advantage. And look, most shoppers skim. They're just skimmers. So you format your bullets like this with these caps, these all caps, is really going to be helping you a lot. Make them easy to read. And those bolded out portions are just powerful little hooks, headers, we call them bullet heads, to maximize their impact. And listen, there's always something emotional to tug at heartstrings. Even when selling seemingly boring things like pet bedding, like we were doing for Harold. He said that Sean got me to #1 all because he made it sound like hamsters had to have this pet bedding. Just using the stuff that I already showed you here. And the results were, we got him to #1 And it all happened rather quickly. It was in a few weeks. So if you get this right and you actually start speaking to humans, you can do this in a way that will get you results really fast, and start earning sales, and you're on your way to that 10x sales that you're looking for. I want you to go ahead and ask yourself, are your bullets pulling shoppers in, or are they pushing them away? And if you're pushing them away, it's time to rewrite those bullets and turn them into conversion machines. And now, DIY dead giveaway number 1, you're not using the social proof you already have. And here's what I mean by this. Most Amazon sellers think you need 10,000 reviews to look trustworthy on Amazon. But what if the truth was actually almost the opposite? My goal with this section is to show you how to look like a bestseller even before you've made your first sale. Because when I started on Amazon back in 2015, we were into glossy, super corporate images and marketing because honestly, Amazon was kind of underground. It wasn't nearly as trusted as it is today. But right now, today, I'm finding that shoppers are trusting what feels real. Because while you know that your product's amazing, shoppers don't give 2 swipes. They're going to scroll past your perfect listing to buy a blurry photo with 5,000 reviews. So what do we do when we're up against this kind of stuff? Whenever you're saying like, how are they even winning? Because that's the most awful thing ever. Well, sometimes the less polished your listing is and the more believable it becomes. So we're going to work at building momentum, but specifically with the illusion of momentum. And here's where the fun starts. So the way I do it right now is I front load credibility. So instead of waiting for social proof to trickle in, just borrow it from real conversations or messages or experiences you've already had. And I'm going to show you how to use shameless, garage-built phrasing like this. Fans tell us this dog toy saved their furniture. Just say it. You put it in quotes, you can actually say it. If they're telling you this, you obviously want to be truthful about it if that's the fact. Customers say this collar changes puppy behavior in minute. Social proof, customers say. Happy pet parents say it made their dog young again. Each one sounds like a review, but it's really just a testimonial seed that's building trust fast. It's credibility without any other effort, right? You can just literally state it in a second. What I want to make clear about this is that you're not faking it at all. You're just front loading it. So these are true statements. You can find them in research or however you want to find them out. We want to be able to do that. But this next one is even better. This is called your appeal to authority. So even without reviews, even if you don't have influencers or endorsements yet, you can use lines like this. Veterinarians recommend this for aggressive chewers. I'm appealing to the authority of a veterinarian, a doctor, someone with a degree, someone that has natural, already existing authority in society. People trust them. All you need is 2 vets to say it. Then you got veterinarians, plural. But if you can get them to say it for aggressive chewers, then you've got that fact, and it's an appeal to authority. It's a great way to just go ahead and put the proof right into your statement. Yes, again, everything you say needs to be true, but you don't need to sit around waiting for some stroke of luck that a vet will buy your product and then write the recommendation in a review. No, if it's real and vets recommend it, go ahead and say it. That's the secret to what I call credibility without a crowd. You're creating the feeling of a brand people already trust. Again, dog trainers choose this because it stops bad behavior fast. Even top dog trainers, right? Top dog trainers. So try this today. Try one of these garage-built lines, put it into your bullets and watch what happens, because the moment shoppers start to believe you, they buy. Again, it's getting back to that whole cycle of believing and then buying and believing and then buying. Now, if you want to go one step further, I've actually got a bonus for you here. This is called the fake face hack. It's like, again, DIY garage built credibility without looking garage built. So for example, like this one. Laura says, I'm leaving the house without makeup again. My friends gave me compliments on the new natural glow. I love that, the social proof. You've actually got the little bit of an ego bump, transformational story. They went from non comments, no comments. Now their friends are doing it. And again, I'm leaving the house. So this is a big one that is a concern for people who want to look natural, who want to have great skin, regardless of whether there's makeup on or not. And that really speaks directly to them. How about this one? Goodbye to the pinching and slipping. These bands stay put, giving me workouts that are pain-free and effective. Again, looking right at the camera. This is called a face to camera. Again, that's what we call it, the fake face hack, because they are literally looking at the camera, presenting the information, saying the quote, goodbye to pinching and slipping. They're looking at it. So this is telling the viewer that this quote came from this person, which is why you want to do it. But however, you don't actually have to do the face to camera. You could do the same quote in a product in use. Goodbye pinching and slipping. These bands stay put, giving me workouts that are pain-free and effective. So I'm doing the exact same thing, but I'm just showing the product in use. Either work well. Usually if you need to be harder hitting and you don't have reviews, this works a little bit better early on. So I would say try this one, but you can do this. Or if you're just chicken and want to do this, you can do that as well too. Either will work. Or this one. Amanda says, I tried sprays, toys, and even hot sauce, but this solution finally stopped his destructive chewing. And I love this because, you know, that's saying what the problem is. This is a little bit of a testimonial. You're looking at it, and this looks like a face to camera testimonial. Call it the fake face hack. And it works especially with images. When they see a face and a quote, it's an emotional win. Their brain fills in the gaps, and it feels like a review. It feels trustworthy. And here's one that we did that took a listing to page one in just a few days. Just doing something as simple as this, put the little quote up there, got this as a gift and really enjoyed it. It was an actual quote, right? We just threw it up on the listing. You can even grab these from reviews. You just can't state that they're from the reviews. If you've got these on your Amazon reviews, it's a great place to go grab these. Help that brand jump to 7 figures in sales. So it really is part of this stuff are all the levers that you can pull to really move you ahead. But well, I'm going to give you one more bonus if you don't mind. This one I call the emotional UGC over clean images. So again, when I started back in the day, everyone was into, sometimes it's called glossy marketing. Everything looks clean, professionally lit, all that kind of stuff. And this one, bonus number 2, emotional UGC over clean images. Look at that. So we can take this whole idea of the face to camera and go a little bit further. UGC just means user generated content. So UGC creator, you can ask them, commission them to actually say what others are already thinking. So just have them say, hey, I would like you to talk about how this helps with whatever or keeps from the pinching. So again, a lot of this language that was said here stops the pinching, all that kind of stuff. You can just literally have them saying, and then they put it in their videos and say it over top, like this one did here. This is part of UGC. I just took a screen grab of it, where they said this in the voiceover portion of it, and then they showed them in action and all of that kind of stuff. I like this because it's better for honest reactions and messy emotions and transformation stories. And it's better than the overly polished marketing, which feels a bit like an ad, and people are sort of used to that. But these raw UGC, user-generated content like these feel like proof. They feel like it's true because it is. Someone is actually saying this. So your goal is transformation over production value. Viewers don't want the perfection of an image or anything like this. You can just tell this is in her house. It's like she's got her cat in the background. This is nothing like super exciting. She, just a regular house with a regular person. That's what they like. They want that because that feels like a connection with a real person, which is what you want to do. Here's the simple truth. Like stuff like this is an A/B shot right here, an A/B comparison of before and after of what's going on with their hair when they use the product, after they use the product, before they started with this and just did this. Your iPhone can shoot all of this stuff. And your iPhone shot of a real result will outsell your videographer's perfect B-roll almost every time. And that's the power of an emotional appeal. You're really hitting what is their desire, what are they looking for, taking them through this kind of process. It just kind of proves it when it's done in UGC format like this. So I would highly suggest you make some of these moves to get a little bit of proof going for you, especially if you're early and don't have reviews. If you're really ready to see your brand take off, I want to offer you a free Amazon readiness session. It'll be with me, a 20-minute strategy call where we'll work together, and I'll walk you step by step through your brand's path to profitable Amazon sales. This isn't a sales pitch. It's actually hands-on, a working session together. This shows you exactly where your Amazon opportunity is hiding and what's blocking your growth. And here's what we'll cover. We're going to cover your product readiness and your positioning. That's if you're coming into Amazon. You haven't actually launched onto Amazon yet. Another one, I'll offer you launch strategy if you're still there in the early stages. That include a timeline and how to sidestep the hurdles to hit the critical phases and really nail your launch window, because that's kind of critical. That launch window, some people call it the honeymoon period, really critical to kind of get that right. If you're already launched, we'll cover your operational backbone. That's how do you tighten logistics, inventory, and systems so you can handle the demand when the sales hit. That's actually more critical than it seems. I'll leave you with a clear roadmap that takes your first 90 days on Amazon and makes them clear. It's a short, punchy checklist of what to fix, align, and launch next. You also have the confidence to move forward. Some people ask, why would I do this for free? First of all, I believe that we reap what we sow. So I want to give value and trust the rest will be provided for me. But I've also found that some brands, when they do this session together, they ask us to implement the plan for them through our Amazon Sales on Autopilot system. Either way, you're going to walk away with clarity, momentum, and the next steps that move you forward. No fluff, no pitch, and no commitments necessary. I'll just hand you what you need to do. I'll leave the link in the description and in the comment. But one problem I'm seeing right now is that too many Amazon sellers are piecemealing their listings and their marketing and strategies from a bunch of YouTube videos, from blog posts, Reddit threads, and TikToks, and then wondering why nothing's working. And that's why I created the fastest path to $100,000 on Amazon. And it's what I do for my clients, all packaged and wrapped up for you. So click that video right there, and I'll show you just how easy it all can be.